Hello and welcome to Admit One, your movie and TV podcast right here on Rabbit Hole Media. I am one of your hosts, Jacques Nedley Thompson. This week I am joined... That was a terrible French accent, is what that was.
It was worse than the one that Chris Tucker does in this movie.
And of course, as usual, I am joined by a very overexposed Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan, and then also Kristian Lasham.
Can you see how much I have darkened the image?
Yes.
To try and compensate for how overexposed they were for no logical reason. Because even the text, which is yellow, is overexposed. I don't understand. We need a new screen.
But this bit, which is also yellow...
It's fine.
It's fine. What we need is to yeet this into an abyss.
Yeah.
And get another one, preferably for free. If anyone has an old, better screen. Not old.
Emphasis on better. A better
Second
screen.
hand. Yeah. A used, I should say, more than old. Like a decent, however big that is, 4K HDR. Just lying around that they don't need. Hit me up.
Or me.
Yeah, awkward. Yeah. But I'm the single one. Which has got nothing to do with fried gold. So, this is Admit One, your movie and TV podcast, right here on Rabbit Hole Media. If you like what you're doing is watching us. You can follow us on Twitter at rabbithole_UK and subscribe to us on YouTube, where you can see us anytime that you wish. You can follow us on Twitch at Rabbit Hole Media, and you can subscribe and follow multiple different podcast services on and around the internet.
Indeed.
And now, you can follow us on Instagram at rabbithole_media_UK and on TikTok at Rabbit Hole Media for all the behind the scenes tears and bits. If you would like to support us, head to merch.rabbitholemedia. Yes. For a wide range of merch.rabbitholemedia.co.uk for a wide range of merchandise that recently got wider. And finally, if you're watching us live on Twitch and are an Amazon Prime member, you get one free Twitch Prime membership a month. Please find it within your hearts to give that membership to us. It doesn't cost you a penny, but it goes a very long way into helping us bring you the shows that you love. Today we are here to talk about Rush Hour 3 and round out this series of problems.
Yes.
This one in particular is a problem. Yeah, and not because of just the problematics, but it's just bad.
I have been saying this from the beginning. It's the worst of the three. It's also the most problematic of the three. Mm-hmm. Mainly because there is less casual racism in this one. There is some, but there is a lot more overt sexism and sexualization and harassment.
Yes.
And every other form of yeah.
And it was the one we had to pay for. I do apologise. When we started this series, it was free.
Yeah.
But Amazon must have cottoned on. They were one of the 112 and have decided, oh shit, let's charge them. Joke's on them, because I used Apple TV. I don't know why I'm such a snob. I'm just like, I'm not going to rent from Amazon. It's the same price in Apple, and I prefer the UI.
That's fair. That's not snobby. That is you using your own brain to make your own purchasing decisions.
It's fair. That is true. That's true. I'm just also known as Apple's cock bitch.
This is also true. This is what you have tattooed on your rectum.
Pimping out for monitors, and you can find out yourself. Rush Hour 3. I don't mean an Apple TV. Hannah says I always forget I own an Apple TV. I don't mean an Apple TV. I mean Apple TV, the service.
I am surprised that Apple don't make TVs.
So am I. They would be great. They would be $9,000, but they would be great.
I appreciate they'd cost about the same as a private island. But
the UI would be great, though.
with Apple, especially if you have Apple TV and iTunes and all that, Apple Music built in.
Yeah.
Screen sharing with with all of your devices immediately. I don't understand, because it's the kind of thing where I wouldn't mind bankrupting myself for an actual Apple TV.
But they've made a screen, and that's £6,000.
Oh yeah, I know. I appreciate this.
Did you know it doesn't come with a stand?
Yes.
Do you know how much the stand is? Yes, £1,000.
I know. It's insane. It's insane.
Command strips are your friends. Like, just get a packet of command strips and stick it to the wall. It troubles me to know people have bought that.
The only other problem if Apple actually made a TV, the other problem you would have is because of the way Apple are, you wouldn't be able to use any of your external devices with it. Like, it wouldn't have a HDMI port. You'd have to have fucking adapters for your HDMIs and shit like that.
Well, no, because the new MacBooks have got an HDMI in it.
They do. That's a good point. Indeed.
And I feel like removing the HDMI from a TV would be the world's stupidest thing to do, which is probably why they do it. Hannah said they had something copyrighted ages ago. Closest thing is the Sky Glass, which will have Apple TV in it. But so does my Samsung. So does this screen that we're looking at now. That has Apple TV in it as well. The Sky Glass is a cool idea, to be fair. Why would you not use a mount instead of command strips?
Because it costs $1,000.
Because it's $1,000. The mount for that screen, which is $6,000, is $1,000. You don't get any included. It is $1,000. This is like the Mac Pro, not the iMac Pro, the Mac Pro. Many years ago, we had to pay £900 for wheels. Mm-hmm. Who needs wheels on a computer?
Especially £900 worth of wheels.
Exactly. You're going to ride it down a hill. What are you doing? Just put it down and leave it there. It's a Mac Pro, not a handbag. Fucking hell. Anyway.
No, it's
I don't
Apple.
think you can. Yeah, it's as Apple, so all the...
It's all proprietary fittings.
Yeah, exactly. So
Nonsense.
It's utter nonsense. This is why they don't really advertise that they sell this screen, because someone clearly went, whoever made these decisions is a fuckwit. Mm-hmm. So we're going to pretend that this hasn't happened anyway. This has got nothing to do with Rush Hour 3. Also, my Samsung. Well, all I can say is, it must be old.
That's it. That's all you can say.
Yeah, because I have a Samsung and it has Apple TV on it.
All I'm saying is, we are looking for an old monitor ourselves. So if you want to give us that one, you could buy yourself a new one with Apple TV built in. That solves all your problems, Hannah. Just saying. By solves your problems, I mean solves ours and doesn't solve a single problem you have.
Not at all. 2016. Oh, so not old.
Old in TV sense. Old in technology sense.
That's true. That's true. A lot of people... My MacBook's from 2011. I wouldn't call that old. I would. To put into context, I couldn't drink in 2011. I did. That's a different story. Rush Hour 3 is a film that happened.
Yep.
And it starts with Chris Tucker.
Are we not doing our general thoughts?
Oh, general thoughts. This movie's dog shit in every way.
I think that's a bit strong.
No, I genuinely believe it's badly made, it's badly written, it's badly edited, it's badly paced. The jokes don't land very well. And I just think it is not. It's a standard, we need to rush this out.
Oh, hands down.
Mid-2000s movie.
Yeah, hands down. Because it doesn't have... It definitely doesn't have any of the things that made Rush Hour 2 good.
No.
Because there's not even really any proper fight scenes with Jackie Chan.
No, there are no real Jackie Chan scenes. All the Jackie Chan scenes are blatantly green screened. Mm-hmm. One of them, fair.
The cars?
I'm dangling off the Eiffel Tower.
Yes.
But also the cars. But even then, you could have done that in a way where Jackie Chan could have done that.
Probably, yeah.
This isn't only the worst Rush Hour. This might be the worst movie we've done on Admit One so far.
Fair enough. No, I agree. It's not. I'd agree to an extent. It's definitely not the best of the three, and it's not a great movie either. There is enough. There's enough jokes that land in it for me, my sense of humor personally, which means it gets by, but it does miss all of what made Rush Hour 2 good, I think.
Yeah.
And like as I said at the beginning, it really ups the kind of
sexism
and everything else.
Him being creep.
The plot doesn't have really anything to it, really. It's a very non-plot, a very predictable plot.
How dare you? How dare you, madam?
Very predictable plot, and all kind of ends very quickly as well.
Yeah,
it's only a short film, it's like an hour and a half.
Yeah, it was very short. Thank Jesus, because I had to watch it after a stream yesterday. I tried to watch it beforehand while washing the dishes, but I had to pay for it. I was like, I can't be asked to deal with this right now. But yeah, there was one joke that landed for me, just one, and it was really dumb. Well, they all are.
Yeah.
It was. I don't know what you're feeding that boy, but he is too damn big. I don't know why. That just made me
It
chuckle.
was a good delivery.
It was chuckle. I would have done the delivery, but I would go to prison.
All right, do you want to do the plot, Jack?
Let's.
How do you want to do it?
It starts with Chris Tucker being a problem.
No, it starts with Chris Tucker dancing. Then he's the problem.
Dancing whilst you're directing traffic is a problem. I just want
Alright,
to point
good
that
point.
out.
Good point.
So he's dancing and singing whilst directing traffic, and clearly dancing with his arms and waving cars forward, and crashes are occurring. Then a crash happens involving two women.
Which he immediately objectifies.
He immediately objectifies, body shames one of them, like telling her she weighs more than the car, even though, let's be real, she really wasn't that very big.
No, not at all. It wasn't very big at all.
No. Like, he was making all these jokes. I was like, is that what fat was in 2007?
Yeah, unfortunately it was.
If it is, oh no. Oh dear.
I'm ashamed to say it, but I did like a joke that was here though, and the joke is to play on words. So I liked when she said, "I have a thyroid condition. Well, stop eating thyroids." I enjoyed that. It's a funny play on words.
Did he say stop eating thyroids?
Yeah.
I heard it. What do you mean thyroid?
No, he says, "Well, stop eating thyroids."
Oh, I see.
That's a funny joke. But yes, it was a problem nonetheless.
So yeah, he then immediately he objectifies them and then blackmails them into, as Hannah's just pointed out, into dating them, and then calls someone.
Do you guys like Chinese? So he says, do you girls like Chinese? To then call Jackie Chan and say, "I've got two girls here that want to play hide the little Chinese policeman." Oh, come on. We're 2 minutes into the film.
So they do not want to do this. You've told them they are under arrest and their licenses have been confiscated. Until they do, you're essentially becoming their pimp.
Yes.
Problem.
Yes.
Jackie Chan, as one does, politely told him to fuck himself, and then carried on.
We also get a bit of backstory here. Are you still mad I shot your girl? Chris Tucker's like, you're just mad. You're still just upset about what happened in New York. And he's like,
yeah, we don't.
Oh yeah,
we don't find out what he did yet.
Let it go. He's like, let it go. Isabella was my girlfriend. So we get a nice little thing here that Isabella from Rush Hour 2 and Inspector Lee hooked up for a bit.
All the things they talk about in New York sound like a better movie. I just want to.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Just want to.
And it's been. They also say it was 3 years ago. So it's been 3 years. It's been a big gap since Rush Hour 2 because it's 3 years then, and it seems like there was a potentially more before that. So big gap, big time jump. Sorry, carry on.
And then we cut. So we cut to Jackie Chan. He is with Chap from first one, the ambassador,
Yes.
Ambassador
Hahn.
Han, going to the World something Council,
Yep. World Trade Council, I think, something like that.
World Criminal Council.
Yeah, World Security
Criminal Court?
Council.
I think it was World Criminal Court, wasn't
Maybe. It was something with the world.
it? Something to do with WOX.
Yep.
Two C's. I don't know. Fucking carnage. La-di-da-di-da, talking about ending triad, la-di-da-di-da. Snipped from a billion miles away, and movies do this all the time, and I find it kind of annoying in that the gunshot and the impact happen at the same time at that distance.
Yes.
It's not very difficult. In fact, all you have to do is not line it up properly.
Yes. Yeah, done.
Yes. You have to undo your job.
Yeah.
But hey, here we go.
Jackie Chan sees a sniper
Because apparently he's a hawk.
scaling down the building, just scaling down a skyscraper, and decides, I'm going to leave Consul Han, who I'm supposed to be looking after, when he's in dire situation, and I'm going to leap out of this building and chase man, which I personally feel was an irresponsible decision.
For sure.
Is the likelihood
That's the Rush
there-
Hour series.
Yeah, because the likelihood there is potential assassin is going to escape regardless, and you have now left your job behind, essentially, to bleed out. Mm-hmm. You know, you should be with him his entire time in case more attackers come to him. But no, you've just fled the scene. You've absconded. You've become the absconder, Jackie Chan. But either way, Chris Tucker then, whilst he's still objectifying women, hears over the radio shots fired at the
Chinese ambassador
embassy.
has been shot.
Yeah. So which he's like, Chinese ambassador, get out of the way, steals their car with them still in it, and chases high speed across New York to or wherever they are.
There's literally
LA,
a name
LAPD.
for this thing, and a game series based on that now. And where you can do this exact thing.
Red Dead Redemption.
I was going to say Canis Canem Edit, but I love how we get a game called Canis Canem Edit, and they've gone, Americans won't understand Latin. Bully.
Yes. Dog eat dog, isn't it? Canis Canem Edit, I think.
Yeah, which amuses me because it's dog eat dog and 3 different words.
Yes.
Languages are dumb. But anyway.
So, Inspector Lee is sprinting across New York on foot, chasing after this guy. LA, fuck's sake. Chasing after this guy, whilst Chris Tucker is in pursuit in vehicle he has stolen, causing carnage along the way.
Causing absolute carnage, being like, I'm going to give you a ticket when I get back.
Yeah, shouting abuse at other drivers. Sees Lee. Yells after him, Lee, I'm coming, as if he needs your help at this point. Lee catches this guy down the end of a corridor, down an alleyway. Stops him, turns around, he recognises him. Someone called Kenji. They have a bit of a standoff. Inspector Lee could easily shoot him. He chooses not to. Kenji could easily shoot him. Also chooses not to. I found this weird. I don't understand Kenji's motivation at this point to not just murder him.
This is his brother.
We don't know that yet, but I just feel like
we don't know that yet. But
he happily lets him. He happily tries to murder him later in the film.
Ish. But when it actually came down to it, he didn't.
Yeah, this is true. Camilla just texted me saying I screwed up.
Oh no.
I know what she's done, and I'm kind of tempted to let her suffer.
Forgotten a towel.
Yes.
Well, we're in here. It's fine.
Yeah.
Make a run for it.
Exactly. There's a hand towel in there. I've lost my train of thought now. Yes. Has him stand off in the alleyway just as he's about to deal with the situation. Who comes blundering in? None other than Inspector James Carter in this car with his 2 poor girls still in it. Kenji then just starts opening fire on these 2 civilians, to which he then runs over Inspector Lee into a bin, gets out, blames him for not moving out of the way, and then says, I'd like you to meet our dates for this evening, and then body shames some more.
What does he say there? I probably just
The fat
blanked
one's
it.
yours.
Ah, I see. Yes, that is a problem.
It's going well.
Hannah says, I haven't been paying attention as this puzzled me. Edit doesn't mean eat in Latin. I thought, canis canem edit. I thought that meant dog.
I am Googling this.
I thought that meant dog. Dog, eat dog. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah,
Googling.
canis canem edit means dog eat dog. Apparently.
But to be fair, I think Latin is a nonsensical language. Considering
which is why it's dead language.
And I think because it's a dead language, no one actually knows any Latin. They know the gobbledygook. It's the equivalent of speaking Klingon. Yet Latin is for some reason expected because it has often ties to the baby Jesus. Or some... I don't understand.
So, either way, after this moment, Inspector Lee and James Carter head straight to the hospital to find Councillor Han, or Ambassador Han now, find out what's going on. Jackie Chan is not thrilled.
Understandably
James
so.
Carter has followed him into this situation. We get in, and the captain from the Rush Hour 1... Captain from Rush Hour 1 is there, immediately starts pointing blame at James Carter. Understandably, he's proven himself to be a liability at this point. Says, Ambassador Han's fine, but it Mrs. Hart, he's going to be okay. all's going to be okay. Don't worry, the LAPD are not dealing with this investigation.
But my joke was about the fact that a lot of religious things are in Latin.
Says we're not dealing with this thing. Points out how Chris Tucker has been the problem. And then says Ambassador Hahn's daughter is... that's appalling, Hannah.
That was fantastic, but we're not reading it out.
No. Sue Young is coming. Please look after her. Make sure she's okay. James Carter's like, Sue Young's here. I haven't seen her like she was 10 years old. This is amazing. Turns around, objectifies her. Immediately. Quite creepily as well, considering the last time you saw her was when she was 10.
Surely, if we go on the timeline, she's probably, 15, 16?
I reckon 15, 16, yeah. It's bad. It's real bad. He gives her an awkward hug.
It's a very awkward hug.
He eyes her up and down.
It's a very awkward hug. And it's... This was the era in films where they kind of, in the making of, justified it by, the actress is this age, is older. And it's like, yeah, but the context you're setting across
It's bad.
is bad. It's bad. It's just...
Yep. Either way, she says, you need to promise me, says to them both, you need to promise me you're going to find the person who did this to my father, because I don't think they're going to stop until he's dead. Because he has just revealed, we missed this bit, this is an important plot point, he revealed at the council thing that he has located Shai Chen.
Yes.
We don't know what that is yet, but he's located something called Shai Chen. So my dad gave me an envelope and said if anything would ever happen to him, I should give it to you, Inspector Lee. I have conveniently left this in my locker and haven't brought it with me. So go to this address where my locker is and you can get it from there. All right, cool, no worries. We will go there. Did we ever find out what was in this envelope?
No, it seems to be forgotten about after this.
Forgotten. So off they go then to the address that she gave him in Chinatown. Chris Tucker following along. Again, Jackie Chan's is like, you go home. You don't need to be here. He continues to make a mockery of the situation.
For a good 3/4 of this movie, Chris Tucker is just present.
Just present for no
and does
reason.
nothing.
Yeah.
He objectifies and pedophies and
yes.
probably says something remarkably racist at some point.
It's coming up. They head into what seems to be like a some kind of martial arts school of some form where there's kids in there practicing martial arts. He walks in, comes blundering in, exclaiming, like he always does in these films, listen up, I'm Detective Carter, this is Detective Lee, we need to see Sue Young's locker. They're like, you can't just come in here without the master's permission. He shouts some abuse some more. Then the kids all attack him with cardboard. These
highly entertaining.
These blades are very much cardboard with tinfoil on them. To which, again, he then essentially starts on the kids.
He threatens the kids with severe violence, yes.
I think the line is, I'm going to beat the puberty out of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Given your previous actions, that is not a line to say.
Yes. The sort of instructor in there tells the kids to stand down. He then walks through a door. As he walks through the door, a giant appears. Mm-hmm. Sure, why not? Why don't we have a video game boss here for no reason? They then have a very weird fight with this guy. I don't really understand why Inspector Lee gets involved in this fight.
No.
He just seems to get involved and starts hitting him with sticks and doesn't just stand back and go, I'm very sorry about him. There is a point where he says, I don't know him.
Yeah.
Fight ends because the master comes in. He then continues to offend the master.
Yes.
With the
scene I thought was in Rush Hour 1.
I am you. No, he is me. I am me.
Not only is this just a problematic joke, it's the second time they've done it.
It's the second time they've done the joke. I can't work out if it's a funny joke or not either, because it's too... I feel like it's
too long for one.
It's too long, and It's
So overdone.
yeah, that's it. It's such an overdone, obvious joke. I don't know. It's definitely funny. But that goes on for a while. He eventually then tells them that some men came here with guns, emptied out Su Young's locker, and left, and said that the same was going to happen to her. I don't know why these people would have told this kung fu master this information, but they have. Like, okay, we need to go then. We need to go back to her. So they go back to the hospital where Su Young is. Get there. There's no police there. Like, there's no police. What's going on? They go into the room where her dad is. Su Young is there and one nurse still. Every other staff member of the building is fucked off. But then ambush. They have there's a bit of a cool fight sequence here because there's some team up stuff.
Yeah, it's all right.
But they sort of team up. There's a bit where he like throws in the gun. The gun's empty. He's like, Lee, you passed me an empty gun. And he does the like slide across the counter and just puts the bullets in just to then fire. There's some couple of cool bits.
A couple of cool shots. Yeah.
And I think some cool lines here as well. He's like, see, I've always got your back. So why'd you hand me an empty gun? I didn't know. Like, bits like that. And Su Young holds her own in this scene, by the way. She fucks shit up. This film should be about Su Young. They capture one of the people ambushing them and say, we're going to go we need to interrogate him. But before that, Chris Tucker offends yet another culture.
France?
Yes, because the guy speaks French and he says to him, what kind of Chinese is that? Oh no, he says, what's he saying? He's like, I think he's speaking French. What kind of Chinaman speaks French? And then says to him, you're Asian, stop humiliating yourself.
Yes.
2 levels of racism in one go here.
Yes, and there's plenty more implied racism in the next scene.
Yes. Is there? I don't know if there's implied racism, as much as just outright racism.
Oh, I see, yes. Hannah says, ironically, Jackie Chan is fluent in French.
Oh, that's good to know. So they say, find someone here who can speak French. We're going to go interrogate him. The nurse finds a nun from the church upstairs, or whatever it was, the cathedral upstairs, whatever it is. Chapel. That's the word I'm looking for. Chapel upstairs to translate for him. They start interviewing him. The French guy is being racist.
Mm-hmm.
I quite enjoyed this scene, if I'm honest.
It's all right.
There's the whole thing with the spelling stuff. It's like, call him an AW. Like, whole spelled with an H. Just call him an arsehole. I enjoyed that.
It was all right. It was fine. And then they ruined it at the very end.
Yes.
With the thank you, sister.
Nice working with you, brother.
Yeah.
But they get the information out of him after threatening him of an address and a name of Genevieve. I can't remember what the address is.
Something.
Yep.
JDR.
Yeah. So
FDR.
They're now off onto the next wild goose chase, chasing after this address. Need to find this address in New York. As they point out, there's a million streets, not in New York, LA, or wherever they are. There's a million streets that are going to be named after Roosevelt. So it's going to be hard to locate. They work out they need to put Su Young into hiding.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes off with the English dude. When was this the first time we've been presented with the English dude? When did the English dude come into it?
At the very beginning with Criminal Court.
There was an English dude at the criminal court. She's going to go into hiding with him. Just as they drop her off to hiding with him. I'm on the right train. I'm on the right plot here, aren't I? She'll be safe with him.
The car explodes.
So he's in danger too. When did they make... Oh, so they decide to go to... Why did they decide to go to Paris?
I can't remember. I think I went for a pee and stopped. Didn't pause it at this point.
Why did they go to Paris? Well, they go to Paris. From here, they work out they need to go to Paris. Probably just some kind of cultural appropriation because the person looking for is called Genevieve, so they assume it must be France. Wouldn't be surprising. That's how this film seems to be working.
Yes, that's absolutely possible.
Yeah.
If not plausible. If not probable.
What?
If not probable.
Probable. Okay. I thought you made up a different word for a second.
Oogly
I just
boogly.
misheard you, and it didn't sound like an actual word, so I was a bit confused.
Yeah, but Hannah says because Franklin Roosevelt's road or whatever is in Paris, but they also make reference to the fact that there's one in every city and town in America.
Yeah, so I'm trying to work out how they worked out to go there. I can't remember how they did that. But anyway, they go to Paris to look for this address, come off the airport, Oh no, they have a discussion on the plane. This is when we get the backstory that Chris Tucker accidentally shot Isabella in the neck.
Mm-hmm.
And was it saying as soon as she could blink, she joined the force again?
Yeah, join the Secret Service.
God, what did you do? Like,
so what? Her eyes a bit droopy, is what he said as well.
And she works in El Polo Loco.
Yes.
What I really want to know here, though, is considering she's clearly had this horrific injury, why is she no longer with Inspector Lee?
I don't know. They never actually say. They just imply that she was shot, became temporarily incapacitated, and quite clearly mentally and physically damaged. Yeah. So he left.
Yeah, that seems to be the way it goes. Yeah.
Cunt.
Turns out that there's the one per show. It turns out that Inspector Lee is also a problem, which we actually get more of later as well. But there you go. They get to France. Maybe Hannah. Maybe. Get to France. They then get stopped by a French detective of some form who attacks them with yellow pages.
This was weird. This was really fucking weird. They just land at an airport, get beaten with a book and fingered.
It's exactly what happens. He says, "Why are you two cops here in France?" They're like, "We're on vacation." He's like, "Well, you better not be here for the triads." It's a strong assumption to assume.
It's a very big leap and assumption. And also, this man would be out of a job immediately.
Because he then violates them.
After beating them
with the yellow pages.
While being handcuffed to the ceiling.
Yeah. He tells them to... Hannah, by the way, says maybe she sacked him off because his friend shot her. Possible, but
maybe make reference to it. Because otherwise it just gives the implication.
Yeah, agreed. Lets them on their way after warning them not to do anything stupid. To which they then get into a cab. The cab driver is like, "No, I'm not driving you American people around. It's like, you're violent people, I don't like it." And as if to prove his point, Chris Tucker threatens him at gunpoint.
Yeah.
And forces him to sing the American national anthem.
Hannah says, "Being chained up, smacked and fingered, what a welcome."
Indeed. That's what we do here at Rabbit Hole.
I was going to say, that's what Kristian did to me as I got here earlier.
Indeed. How are you feeling? By the way, settled?
Pretty good. I could do with a nap after that.
Yeah, so could I. We need to go to this address. Cab driver George, his name is George, take us to this address, and he reluctantly takes them off. They go. So they get to this address. We need to find Genevieve. They split up and go looking around. James Carter finds Genevieve. I presume at this point, from memory, he knows it's her, or he just happens to stumble onto her and just to choose to harass another woman.
No, because he's asked... Oh.
Because it's at the card table, isn't it?
No, I think he's just harassing another woman.
I think he's just harassing another woman.
I think he's just harassing another woman, because I don't think we even know it's her at that point. She's just some...
Yes, I think...
woman in a revealing dress that Chris Tucker decides, you can see some side boob, I'm going to ogle at her and be disgusting.
He ogles at multiple women in this section.
Yes. And also just assumed that she can't speak English.
Yes. So he harasses her. At the same time, apparently a former Marks & Spencer lingerie model. Turns out Hannah's been doing some looking around on this.
She was very good looking. I don't blame her.
No, absolutely.
I was going to say something, but it's future, so it's fine. Of the movie.
I see. In the meantime, Inspector Lee meets a girl at the bar.
He does. Less friendly.
Seemingly friendly, but less friendly. Takes him off to a room because she has something to tell him. James Carter sees this and just assumes that he is as filthy as he is, and he's going off for a quick shag.
We're going to do Austin Powers.
Yes. To which then James Carter presses his ear against the door.
But particularly strange, yes.
To seemingly listen to his friend make love with this woman he's met in France.
Yes.
Now, I would just like to point out, as a married man, if I ever find that you are listening against the door, just let me know first, at least. Yeah, give me a heads up. Inside the room, there.
Why would I be in the house?
I don't know. We might be at your house. Who knows?
In which case, hey, I make the rules.
There is a fight because she says to him, "Do you want to know a secret, cop? Someone's going to die here tonight."
And it's not me.
And it's you. They have a fight, which is the only real Jackie Chan fight scene in this film. Where he does some cool shit. He kicks a table around and stuff. And
Cracks himself in the face with the table. I realise it's in the outtakes. But
dodges some knives. In the meantime, from outside the room, James Carter's listening, thinking that there is some kind of vicious sex session happening in here. Inspector Lee barges out the room. They both work out what's going on. Sprint crashing through this.
Not before
casino.
he makes another filthy comment because she's on the floor crawling.
Yes, you're a super freak.
Yes.
Yeah. And then as he leaves, he catches a woman that knocks over, eyes her up and down, and says, "Do you have a boyfriend?" It's like, come on, man. Come on. Head in the game. Just crack on with it. Like, come on. They go down there. How do they end up? They end up in a sewer or something, didn't they?
That's not now. Oh, that's not now. That's when... Because they get taken in the sewer later to see Kenji.
They crash into something rancid because then they go to the hotel.
Do they? That's post-sewer, I thought. That is post-sewer, but I don't think that's yet, is it? Because they get taken to the sewer to see...
I don't remember what happens.
No, I don't remember what happens. Is this where George shows up and there's the chase scene? No.
Yes, George shows up because they know George is outside waiting for them. They're like, they get in, they're like, George, drive, and then there's a chase scene through Paris with the motorbikes.
Then they fall out the cars.
Yeah.
This is quite a good chase scene.
It's a very good chase scene. Now, this is in Paris, filmed in Paris. Disneyland Paris around the time had a motor stunt show. And the motor stunt show was specifically with motorcyclists chasing after a car. And the majority of the stunts in this chase scene are in that stunt show in Disneyland Paris. So I've always just had I wonder if that Disneyland team were involved in one way or another. Because the stunts are like identical to what was in the thing. So I've always wondered if that's the case. Plausible.
Very plausible.
So there you go. That's a thing. I like this thing because throughout this entire scene, George switches on. I love that as he starts doing all this stuff and he does that handbrake turn to flick the guy off the car, he just does this look in his mirror. He's loving it. He's loving this. He's loving this American lifestyle of being a superstar. And it says, was that where the cars are on the chassis backwards? Yes, that's in the chase in the Disney thing as well. So they have the body of the car on backwards, so you can make it
reverse at full speed. Yeah.
They do all sorts of stuff in that. Yeah, they then fall out of the car, which is then when they get
kidnapped, taken to the sewer.
Find out that Kenji is his brother.
Yeah, this is where, because we haven't had the explanation of what they mean by brother at this point. So obviously you would just naturally assume brother. But then this is where I went, oh, more problem from behind the scene, because this man is Japanese. Jackie Chan is Chinese. Has the director just gone, they're both Asian, and decided to make them brothers? But no.
That does get corrected.
They do bring up the fact that he is from Japan.
Mm-hmm. Hannah says, who would wear a white suit in a sewer? I thought the exact same thing when he came
I
out.
thought that as well. I was like, in reality, like, even if you don't touch anything, you would just have like brown mildew like all over you. It would be like, it's a bold...
So he gives
style.
some more backstory of Shai Chen, and they're trying to find this list of Shai Chen, this list of names, which are like a link back to this old Dryad civilization or whatever. Blah, blah, blah. I seem to have a red blotchy bit come from my neck.
Oh yeah. Don't know. It's worse on the camera than it is in real life.
That sounds about right. This camera is insane. Exhibit overexposure. They fight their way out or break their way out of the sewer somehow.
Yeah, I don't really know
One
how.
way or
It
another.
kind of just happens.
Yeah, they get out. They go to this rather expensive hotel and demand a room with 2 beds. What is it? Room with 2 beds, a change of clothes,
2 beds, new suits.
massage therapist, and a whole bunch of other things. Get up in the room. They have a big falling out and a fight, like they do in every film.
Yep.
We get a backstory of who Kenji is. That Kenji grew up in, is from Tokyo, grew up in the orphanage that Inspector Lee grew up in. He then left his brother behind. They have a big falling out here where he's like, he's not your brother, and he's like, you're not my brother, which is Chris Tucker's very upset about. So off he goes in a sulk, wandering around Paris.
Then we have a very on the nose little not montage, but stay still, elbow. Set of scenes where Jackie Chan orders fried chicken, and Chris Tucker goes to a Chinese restaurant and gets some mushu pork. I was like, it's been 3 minutes since you've seen each other. You don't need to start having sentimental food. And then whilst eating mushu pork, Chris Tucker sits down and listens to a guy play Beach Boys.
Terribly.
Yes. Not well.
Yeah.
To the point it took me to the very end where they cut off as he sings the first line of the chorus. I was like, oh! I didn't even realise it was the same goddamn song. But yes.
Meanwhile, British man goes to Jackie
British
Chan's
man.
hotel room to say, look, this girl Genevieve, she knows where Chai Chen is. Finish what Council Han started. We need to find Chai Chen. Here's a ticket to her performance. We can go and find her tonight. And we can find out what's going on and end this once and for all. Okay,
Indeed.
Cool. No problem. At the same time, James Carter sees the show and sees the name of Genevieve and works out, this is the address, this is where I need to be or whatever. I'm going to go in there too. So he goes in looking around.
He sees the woman, doesn't
Sees
he?
the woman, yes, yeah. I'm going to go in there and look around. Jackie Chan makes his way there to see the show. James Carter's doing some looking around, breaks his way backstage, walks into a room full of girls getting changed for the burlesque show, and decides, I'm just going to walk in and continue. When they question my presence, puts on a terrible French accent and pretends to be Bubbles, the new costume designer.
And then proceeds to tell them to get naked.
Yes. Yeah. Now, I feel like, at first, him, I need to be here because I'm trying to do an investigation. I'm Bubbles, the costume designer. I'm supposed to be here. Where is Genevieve's dressing room? This is a bit dodge, but fine. You're trying to do an investigation. They're going to tell you where to go. You're going to leave. But you didn't leave, did you? They said, how do we look? A fair question to ask a costume designer. Are we okay, by the way? Mm-hmm. To which he then proceeds to not only tell them to get all naked, lines them up in categories, walks up and down the line, objectifies each one.
Yes.
Looks them up and down. It's
Blonde, brunette, and hybrid.
hybrids. Yeah. Great content.
Yeah.
Great content. Meanwhile, Jackie Chan is actually scouring around trying to find out what's going on.
Not being a piece of shit.
Yes. They then cross paths. Like, why are you here? It's like, I found Genevieve. I also found Genevieve. Excellent. They're gonna Jackie Chan's like, they're gonna kill her. Look, there's triads out there. They're gonna kill her tonight. We need to do something. Okay, cool, fine. Lee, you get the lights. I'll get the girl. Cool, fine, good plan. So off he goes. Show is starting. Let's get this burlesque sequence going on. Just as Genevieve walks out on stage for her thing, Chris Tucker pops in. He's in show, got a hat on, is dancing with her, is trying to get her out of the spotlight, saying that don't go out there, you're going to get shot. She's like, who the fuck are you on my stage? Why are you here now? You've already ogled at me in a bar today, which you then trashed as you were there, and now you're here at my show. What's going on? He's like, no, they're going to kill you. Like, trust me. Lights and music all black out because Lee's done his job. Then a spotlight turns back on, just on Chris Tucker. Some music randomly starts playing for no apparent reason at this point. Because it seems like whoever's in charge of this... the dancers, Hannah, says the dancers then appear in different costumes. Was he supposed to have made them? I presume
Which are, even though the costumes they originally had would be probably have you classed as scantily clad.
Yeah.
Infinitely more so. Yeah. It was string.
Yes.
Literally just string. So that was another, oh dear Lord, Chris Tucker what are you? Not well. I appreciate it's Brett Ratner,
Yes.
really, but yes.
He then breaks into song. The closer I get to. I really enjoy this sequence. I know you don't like it, but it's really funny. Why is it not funny to you?
It's just one of those. Well, Chris Tucker badly singing is overdone now in
It
these
is overdone,
movies.
to be fair.
And then why does Jackie Chan just appear on
But
a
that's what made it funny. Jackie Chan just appearing on a trapeze singing as well. That's what was funny. Like up until that point, it's just Chris Tucker singing. As you say, it's been done. Jackie Chan then comes in as well. They get it off to the back of the stage. Everyone opens fire. She realizes, okay, shit is going down. Maybe I should go with these people. So goes back with them to the hotel. She's like off in the bedroom just collecting her thoughts. They're chatting like, we need to do something about this. To which Jackie Chan says, maybe we should put on a dirty movie. Oh, great. You're also scum. Wonderful.
I don't know where that came from. Like, there was no context for that, did they? Maybe you should just watch porn.
He just looks at her and goes, should we put some porn on?
Like, what? That made no sense to me because there was no like rhyme or reason for it at all. It was just like, maybe we should just watch porn. And then the outtakes really go to show how much of a problem Brett Ratner is.
Yeah.
He is scum.
Yes, but nonetheless, James Carter says, no, I'm going to go deal with this instead. And goes and closes himself in the room with her. And just essentially hits on her.
Yep.
Gets some information out of her. Takes advantage of the fact she's upset. Hits on her. Is ready to have sex with her. There is an amusing line there, though, where she says, James, I'm bad. He goes, I'm bad too. I enjoyed that. While this is going on, he orders some room service.
Bottle of honey and...
Bottle of honey and a Red Bull.
Oh, yes. The Red Bull, yes. I'm getting it confused with the fish and the X-Lax.
Inspector Lee's looking out a window. He's looking out a window. Silhouette is coming up behind him. Who? Who's Roman Polanski?
I don't know who... Carry on, I shall discover who Roman Polanski is.
Shadows coming up the curtains behind Inspector Lee, and the man across the road is trying to give him point behind you. He's just waving. And the Blady girl is back from the casino. And they have a bit of a fight and a back and forth. No, they don't. She hides as the room service comes. Jackie Chan goes to collect the room service, looks around and realizes the bedroom door is now open, and he can hear James Carter in there and John Viev getting up to no good. He goes to investigate what's going on. And the Blady woman is then approaching them on the bed. John Viev seems to have sensed this and is putting a gun out of a garter thing.
Yes.
She turns around to shoot. They all miss. And Inspector Lee accidentally shoots her in the arm. Blady girl jumps out the window. James Carter's like, all right, I see how this is. So you shoot my girl, I shoot yours. That's what's going on here. They have a big back and forth. There's girls like that. We need to go. They're going to be here. We need to move. So off they go again. They go running out of the hotel. Go on, tell me, who's this person?
The seeming... That's the French police guy, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
The French police guy... Oh dear. On March 10th, 1977, so this had already happened... Then 43-year-old film director Roman Polanski was arrested and charged in Los Angeles with 6 offences against Samantha Geimer, a 13-year-old girl, rape by use of drugs, perversion, sodomy, lewd and lascivious act upon a child under 14, and furnishing a controlled substance to a minor.
Oh, good.
Initially pleaded not guilty, but later accepted a plea bargain.
Oh, good. I wish I'd known that.
That had already happened?
I wish I'd known that before I suggested we do this trilogy.
That had already happened and Brett Ratner still cast him. Anyway.
More things happen at the end of the film.
And then fucked off to Europe to avoid prison time. Good.
They go out the hotel and they run into none other than George, the taxi driver who's been looking for him all day. And he's like, I am thrilled. This afternoon was amazing. The guns, the violence, the suspense. I feel alive. Let me kill someone tonight. I want to drive for you full-time, no charge. They're like, okay, cool, fine, whatever, mate. Take us here then. Where do they go? Because they go back to his house.
They go to his house, yeah.
But why? Because she's shot. So he takes him to somewhere. He gets somewhere safe. So George takes him back to his home, who his wife is not pleased about it. Also, seemingly not French. She seems to be talking in a French accent, which is very odd.
Oh, I don't think any of the French people are French in this movie.
Well, it's just the fact that the two of them, when they're having a conversation together, they're talking to each other in English.
Yeah, movies do that all the time, though, because American audiences don't understand that other languages
But they had
exist.
Chinese people talking to each other in Chinese.
Yeah, I know. But that'll be 3 languages in one
Right,
movie.
I
It's
guess.
too much.
Yeah, I guess.
It's too much.
Guess. As they're then talking to Genevieve, trying to find out what's going on, where is Shai Chen? You need to tell her. She then reveals that Shai Chen is not a list. Well, it's not a thing. It is me. I am Shai Chen. And she takes off a wig to turn around and show a tattoo of the list on her back.
To which Chris Tucker then assumes that she's a man because she has a shaved head.
Yes. Yes. Tells.
Chinese people did speak French.
They do. Yeah.
They do. No. I know what you mean.
In this film, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do in this film.
That's fair. Okay. And then it's even more dumb. Even more dumb. Okay. But there's nothing not dumb about this movie. But anyway, yes, Chris Tucker being more of a problem by calling this woman with a shaved head a man.
Multiple times.
Multiple
Let it drop
times.
either.
No, he keeps bringing it up. I think he brings it up pretty much for the rest of the movie.
Yes. It doesn't drop it.
And it's just what? I don't even understand the logic behind the joke. Like, she shaved her head. That wasn't a new thing for 2007. Anyway.
She then explains that she is Shai Chen, and Shai Chen is this list that is tattooed onto the heads of a young girl, and then that girl is beheaded before the list is passed down as part of this triad tradition or whatever. So they're going to kill her, because that's the tradition. They're going to find her and kill her. And they just want that to happen. I was hoping that Council Han, Basta Han, could help me from this, could save me from this, but clearly there's no escaping it. I'm just going to have to accept my fate. And they're like, no, we can help you. We know just the man. Let's take you to the clearly bad British guy.
Yep.
So they take her to the clearly bad British guy. Like, we've got Shai Chen. He's like, excellent news. Thank you for finding this. Now, my dear, take off that wig and show us the list. And they're like, hang on, we didn't tell him it was her. So quickly, they then jump into defense. There's guns flying, whatever, blah, blah. More action ensues of some form. What happens at this point?
Guards show up. The guards show up. They put Lee puts a knife to bad British guy. Genevieve grabs the guns. Yeah. Then the phone rings.
Phone rings, and it's Kenji.
It's Kenji
saying, "We've got Su Young. Come to the restaurant in the Eiffel Tower. I can't remember the name of it. Jules Verne restaurant in the Eiffel Tower at this time with Shai Chen. And you give us Shai Chen, we'll give you Su Young. Cool, fine, no worries. So off they go up into the restaurant. They get in there. There's a bit of a standoff back and forth. It turns out Shai Chen is not Shai Chen at all in this situation, but none other than Chris Tucker in the wig. They have a bit of a fight in the restaurant. Kenji and Inspector Lee have a fight on the side of the Eiffel Tower. James Carter is fighting off all of the triad guards inside the restaurant, holding his own, to be fair to him. All the while, Su Young is just dangling off the side of the Eiffel Tower. The big fight with Kenji, this moment heart to heart. They're hanging off this safety net because...
She's not dangling, is she? She's tied up. And then her feet, she's standing on the... On the edge. Still not a comfortable. Yeah. Still not a comfortable place to be.
No.
Fighting.
Fally.
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
Everybody was kung fu kiting. Su Young.
Kung fu kiting.
Yes.
Oh, my neck.
Sorry, I keep losing my train of thought. I keep interrupting my flow, Jack. My flow. Kenji is falling off the netting. Jackie Chan's trying to save him. He's like, just let me go. Just let me go. Otherwise, we're both going to die.
Indeed.
So he sacrifices himself almost, even though he caused the situation in the first place. Falls to his death. Jackie Chan makes his way back up. Meanwhile, James Carter has fought off all the triads single-handedly. and is on his way to rescue Su Yung. Just as he's rescuing Su Yung, Knife Lady turns up again and tries to knock her off. They catch on the rope. They're swinging around over the top of Paris. Come back in. They kick Knife Lady into the cogs of the elevator.
This is a particularly
of some form.
brutal death.
Yeah, where she just gets obliterated. The noise.
She gets marmaladed.
Yeah, the noise was a bit rank. They then, moving down towards the lift, they meet up with Lee. They're like, Su Yung, I'm okay, I'm fine, cool, right, you go fund, please, because there's more triads shooting at them. Jackie Chan then does this fucking sick thing where he runs up in a flag.
Oh, that's awesome, yeah.
That was insane.
That was the upper body strength that requires. Good Lord.
He hides in the flag. James Carter's just like hiding behind a fence of some form.
Less impressive.
Drops a foot. It's quite hard to do, to be fair. Drops foot, makes a noise. Inspector Lee then does a Batman thing with the flag, and they have a fight in the flag. Take out these two guys. Like, excellent, cool, no worries. Thanks, Lee. No worries. We're all good. Let's go down and get the police and get Su Yung. And then more triads come.
Drop the gun.
Oh, more happens because no, this is the point where
he pulls the thing up to kind of fling the gun.
Yeah.
And then it just catches the wind, and he's just gone.
Yeah, he's gone, dangling off the thing. This is when we get Camilla's favourite line of, I think, any film. Lee, black people don't fly. Mm-hmm. Jackie Chan pulls him up. Okay, cool, thanks, Jackie. But then more triads come. So Jackie's like, Carter, hold the flag. And they jump off the Eiffel Tower. Flag turns into a parachute. They're screaming, parachuting down into Paris, being shot at. Moving towards a fountain to get a nice soft landing. Very convenient. Whilst the flag's being destroyed. Landing the thing, there's some more screaming and hustling, bustling. They look up. And then the white dude is there with
the British dude, yes.
With Shai Chiang. I don't know how he's now managed to get the upper hand. Where did they leave her?
I don't know.
What did they do? Why did they just go, right, we'll just leave you two here alone. I assume you two will be all right together. Just behave, yeah? No kidnapping. Well, we're
no
gone.
beheading.
We'll be home by 8. With a gun to her, saying, look, what are you going to do? Like, well, you're the head of like the World Court, Criminal Court, what are you going to do? What are you going to do about this? You can't do anything. You can't just kill us. We're policemen. And they're like, no. You two just murdered this girl. You blew her brains out. And just as he goes to shoot her, James Carter goes to intercept. There's a gunshot pointing towards James Carter. He looks down, oh, God, I've been shot. But no. The English dude takes about 10 steps forward.
Yeah, he goes for a small walk and falls into
falling into the little fountain thing.
Yeah.
And who's behind him? None other than George, the taxi driver, with a gun he has seemingly found on the street.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
committed murder. So jail time, I presume.
Then problematic
Frenchman turns up.
Problematic French
Policeman turns up, yeah.
Fingering rapist shows up. And they both just punch him in the face.
Probably a good thing.
Yes.
Yes.
I hope that was the actor. It was unscripted, and they both just socked him in the teeth.
Yeah. So he gets punched in the face, and then they walk off to war.
What is it good for?
Roll credits, end of film.
Yes. It happened, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's really... It's worse when you read the plot through like this as well.
Yes. Well, it was an adventure. It was an adventure, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not the best one, is it? It's
No.
definitely not a great film.
No.
There's a few amusing moments. There's a few cool moments. But that's about it. And you can definitely see why they've not made the 4th.
He did kiss her at this point, but yeah, he just walks off. He kisses her at the very end and then just walks off.
He has decided she's a man.
That's true.
He's no longer interested.
That is very true. And then it ends. Yes. It's definitely not the best one.
I have to say, I've been irritated watching these films through because I remember them being much better than what they were. Probably because it was my 15-year-old self remembering them.
Yes.
That was looking at these films in a very different way. And I've grown since then. And so have films. So looking back at it, it's been kind of eye-opening. And I now kind of want to watch some more of the Jackie Chan films I watched around the same era and see, because I always remember Shanghai Noon and Shanghai Nights being my preferred ones of this kind of time era of Jackie Chan and the Western Jackie Chan films. So part of me wants to watch those now and see how they stand up.
I don't think any of the others are going to be problematic.
I don't remember them being problematic in the same way. No,
movies have changed and evolved and things like that. So I just think, if anything, you would just be like, oh well, they could have done this better nowadays.
I do remember that Shanghai Noon, Shanghai Nights. Owen Wilson the entire time again is perving on everyone.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, there's a whole all the way through it. He's like, I'm going to go and sleep with her. I'm going to sleep with her. Oh, that's your sister. I like her and stuff like that.
Oh.
So I remember that happens. To what degree, I'm not sure, but yeah, we'll see. I'll watch them myself at some point. I won't make you watch them this time. Don't worry.
No, it's fine. I'm going to make you watch some shit. It's fine.
Oh, I know.
It's fine. I'm trying to decide what to pick for the upcoming Passion film slot. To be honest with you,
I'm tempted to pick a film which I know I like, which I'm pretty certain no one else will. Probably because there's more problematic things.
Oh no, what film is it?
It's got Mel Gibson in it.
Can we veto?
It's also got Jodie Foster in it.
Is she a problem?
I don't think so.
I didn't think she was.
I don't think so. It's called Maverick.
Never heard of it. Oh, I've probably heard of it.
Maverick, so originally it was an old Western TV series starring James Garner.
Yeah.
And then the movie also has James Garner in it, but playing a different role, just as kind of like a throwback thing. It's basically just about this quirky cowboy guy who's trying to win a poker game. That's what it really is. It's a bit of a comedy Western action film. I have always thoroughly enjoyed Maverick. Fair
enough. I don't know what I'd pick. I put forth the suggestion of Rocky Horror the other day.
Anna says no. Is that no to Mel Gibson or no to Maverick?
Probably both.
Probably. What's coming up next, Jack?
Coming up next this weekend, we of course have... Oh no, coming up next Thursday, we will be playing Guardians of the Galaxy, doing our live review discussion for that game. Spoilers, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't quite worked out how we're going to do that yet, as we have not... well, because of the way the game is.
Yes, there's that. But after that, on Saturday, we'll be back. We'll admit one with Amazing Spider-Man with Chris and Charlie, because I will not be here. I will be in Devon. But I will put forward some thoughts on Amazing Spider-Man. Immediately followed by Press Start, our weekly gaming podcast. And then next Tuesday, there will be nothing. Because we will be watching Men with Guitars.
Yes.
And one with a bass.
Yes.
And the other with a drum kit.
Big drum kit.
And we'll emerge with tinnitus. More tinnitus, I should say. But Thursday we'll be back for Eternals, so make sure before next Thursday you watch Eternals.
A bass is a guitar. It's a bass guitar, but you could define it differently to just a guitar. Just wanted to be clear. We just wanted to make sure you understood the concept of a band.
Sounded remarkably patronising. But after Eternals, we will be kicking into things. We'll get there next week.
Yeah. So Eternals next Thursday. So if you're able to go and see Eternals before then, great, because we will be spoiling it. Be interesting to see how our plot rundown goes of that.
Indeed, because it'll be almost a week since we've watched it.
Yeah.
So, just thinking you didn't have a double bass. That would be a different band. That would be an interesting band. I suppose they'll just whack distortion on it and it'll probably be largely the same. Yep. Like Apocalyptica with the cello. Exactly. But anyway. Amazing Spider-Man is up next, though, so make sure to do your homework on that one. This one is actually still free on the old Netflix. So watch it soon, apparently. Just quick, get it all in. This has been Admit One, your movie and TV podcast right here on Rabbit Hole Media. If you like what you're doing and what you're doing is watching us, you can follow us on Twitter at rabbithole_UK. You can subscribe to us on YouTube where you can see us anytime that you wish. You can follow us on Twitch at Rabbit Hole Media, and you can subscribe and follow multiple different podcast services on and around the internet.
Indeed.
And now you can follow us on Instagram at rabbitholemedia_UK and on TikTok at Rabbit Hole Media for all the behind the scenes tits and bits. If you'd like to support us, head to merch.rabbitholemedia.co.uk for a wide range of merchandise that recently got wider. And finally, if you're watching us live on Twitch and are an Amazon Prime member, you get one free Twitch Prime membership a month. Please find it within your hearts to give that membership to us. It doesn't cost you a penny, but goes a very long way into helping us bring you the shows that you love. We may as well go through it for the people on YouTube, but considering the one person watching right now is already subscribed, but what will you get if we subscribe?
Well, if you get your asses over to Twitch, and if you choose to subscribe and get us to 10 active subscribers on Twitch, we will be making our in-depth, scripted, high production value renditions, analysis, reenactments of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films. We have these planned in full swing. But we will only be doing if we get to 10 subscribers. Yes, we're putting it behind a fucking paywall because that's the only way we can afford to do it. So there you go. But generally, it's going to be really good, and we really think you should do it. We think you're going to like it. So go over and subscribe. We only are asking for 10, which is only a few more we're currently on. It's not a huge ask. It's not a huge
Not at all.
ask. You know, tell your friends. If you haven't subscribed before, now is the time to do so. We'll also make sure you get early access, as well as all the other Twitch Prime benefits. And coming your way soon will be a short teaser, just to kind of show you what we have in mind. Just to show you what we have in mind, and then hopefully you'll get it. Because I've been saying this. It's the best thing we've ever fucking done.
Absolutely.
Could be our big break.
Tootin'.
Could be our big break, and you want to be involved in that early. You know, we'll remember the little people that supported us. We will absolutely forget the fuckers that don't.
Largely true. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. And until next time, we shall see you then.
Ta-ra. Ta-ra.